some of the planning that we're doing also applies to what was passed just a few years ago, is the Secure Act. And with that, there's a lot more in the Secure Act than we're going to talk about today, but we just thought we'd cover a couple items. One big rule change was previously individuals who were non-spouse beneficiaries of an IRA were able to stretch out the inherited IRA over the course of their lifetime. So an individual could stretch it out theoretically 30, 40 years if they live long enough.
I mean, some people are inheriting stuff in their 20s and 30s, and that could give them 60 years to stretch that
of growth. They would have to take some money out along the way usually, but but if it grows more than you're taking out, which
if you're taking out 2% a year or 3% a year, that's it could last a long time.
Exactly.
But that's changed, right?
So that's changed. So now there's a 10-year rule. So the Secure Act makes basically a non-spousal inheritor, despite the value of the IRAs, that you have 10 years whether to deplete the value of all IRAs, Roths, IRAs, qualified plans within 10 years of the original owner's death. Okay, so there's also some caveats that there may be a 5-year rule that applies, but that's where we come into play in helping some.
I wonder why they changed that rule.
Oh, it's because they need money. They need money. They don't more tax money into the coffers quicker.
They're assuring that taxes are going to be paid.
Right. So, your objective, and that's one thing we help, as it says, is just, we want to make sure to reduce your taxes and take advantage of tax deferral as long as possible. So there's still some strategy centered around the 10-year rule that can make the tax burden less. We'd all like to have seen the stretch IRA because it didn't really handcuff you.
Right.
From an inheritor standpoint, you had options. You could still take it out if you needed it in a lump sum, but if you wanted to stretch it out and benefit for a number of years, you had that. Now that's gone, but still you're able to at least stretch it out over 10 years.
Right.
Which is better than.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting in the next few years. I mean, it seems like people's retirement savings is at an all-time high, especially with the baby boomer generation. So, that's going to be a lot of taxes that are going to be paid over the next 20 years.
We'll see what plays out. And, one of the other things that changed with the Secure Act, and many of the retirees that we talk to, they have to take money out. It's called a required minimum distribution. It used to be at 70.5, and now that's being changed permanently, or as it stands right now, to say 72. That means you have to start taking money out of your qualified accounts, not a Roth IRA, but out of your qualified accounts at age 72. And there's a calculation involved.
Yeah.
We do that. People that custodians do that. Financial advisors should be on top of that for you. We're on top of that for our clients to make sure that they take out what they're supposed to.
Because if they don't,
there's a 50% penalty on what you don't take out. So if you had to take out $5,000, but you only took out $2,500, they're going to penalize you $1,250 on what you didn't take out.
That's good math. Good quick math there.
Good. I used a bad example to trip myself up, but that is a main thing to be aware of. And if you're turning 72 this year, you have until April 15th of next year to take that money out.
Right.
The thing is, if you wait until next year, you're going to take out 2 possibly. So
which could put you in that extra tax bracket.
Yeah, good point. So this is, as we go forward, how's some ways to fend off some of those taxes? Because even some people definitely live off their retirement. Their part of their retirement income is their distributions from IRAs, which is needed, and that opens up the door for something called a QCD, a qualified charitable distribution, and that came about with the Secure Act when deductions were itemized deductions or the benefit thereof decreased because of the increase in the standard deduction. They came up with this rule, which encouraged individuals to hopefully continue to be philanthropic, especially those individuals in retirement. So it allows, and this actually goes back to 70.5. You can start this at age 70.5, and it allows an individual to pull money out from that was supposed to be from the portion of their RMD, some or all, up to $100,000, to directly send that money to a qualified charity. It has to be one with a 501c3,
Right.
a church, a true nonprofit.
Right.
And that money can't come to you first. It has to go straight from your account to that charity. And upon doing so, you get a
From
dollar
your
for dollar
retirement
from
account,
your retirement
not your
account.
checking
Not your
account.
checking account, your
Right.
retirement account.
Yep.
And you get a dollar for dollar deduction on that. So if you were supposed to take out $5,000 and you wanted to send $2,000 to the church or the United Way or whatever charity you normally benefit,
Mm-hmm.
that $2,000 you wouldn't be taxed on $5,000. You'd only be taxed on $3,000 would hit your taxable income because you sent $2,000 straight to the
Right.
charity.
And, in kind of roundabout way, more money's there for the charity as well.
Exactly.
So,
If you're given $2,000 beforehand, you're actually having to possibly take out more. You're having a lot for taxes. So
Right.
maybe we're having to pull $2,200 out.
either the charity or you had less money due to taxes. But now, if and we see a lot of people that give to their church regularly, in the form of a tithe or however, and they'll just replace that with their RMD, QCD, and it works great.
Correct.
It works great.